This is Mel Thompson, and this is another podcast and a series of podcasts about political risk. Always have options. The option you are looking for in a political risk analysis is a multitude of directions you can go in a certain parallel or horizontal or even vertical path. In other words, you need to be able to move with a certain degree of certainty in any direction that would mitigate a particular risk. If you only have one potential option, you should probably just invest in some type of political risk insurance. If you have multiple directions to go in, you still need insurance in many cases, if not all cases. However, you're probably going to be able to mitigate the overall potential and possibility of even filing a claim by having options. If the one basket that you have put everything into somehow fails, you don't have another way out. You don't have a safety net, if you will. If you have another basket below that, you certainly have an option. And if you look at history when it comes to particularly expropriation and civil unrest and things of that nature that have caused large-scale losses of foreign direct investors and companies, you'll see a multitude of examples where people put everything into one basket, had no options, whether they be vertical, horizontal, lateral, had issues where it came to filing claims subsequently with insurance companies regarding political risk insurance. And at the end of the day, the foreign direct investors and companies were never made 100% whole as they assumed that they would be. A great example of this would be the Iranian Revolution. No one foresaw that coming, and I would say no one foresaw that coming because they really weren't paying attention, because there were warning signs regarding the discontent among the population in Iran with the Shah and his regime for a long time prior to the takeover of the U.S. Embassy. However, the entire scenario played out in a way where it could have been a script that was more or less written for a semi-comic movie regarding people who were going down a path that they knew was going to lead them into a bad situation. In other words, no one did their due diligence as far as having options to alleviate what could possibly happen if there had been a wholesale takeover of a government in a country that was considered a friendly nation to the United States, where the leader would be deposed in some way, and the overall existence of a relationship between the U.S. and that country, including any type of bilateral investment treaties or agreements or anything of that nature, would certainly be non-existent. Iran and the Revolution of 1979 is a perfect example of why you need to have options. Relying on just one route out of a problem, one path, one movement, whether it be up, down, left, or right, when it comes to trying to mitigate a political risk, is the worst possible political risk you can possibly create yourself. This has been Mel Thompson.